Good morning. How are you all? Merry Christmas and looking forward to a Happy New Year. Thank you all for visiting with us today and welcome to Bible study with Andre and Betty. We're continuing our studies from the book of Exodus, and we're in chapter 8, looking at the subject, the rebellion of Pharaoh. Pharaoh is the king of the nation, the country of Egypt. And Pharaoh is the title of several kings, or the kings at this point in time in history. But looking forward to the book of 1 Samuel, we see that in verse 23, 1 Samuel 15:23 defines rebellion. It says, "For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he had also rejected thee from being king." And that was during the time that Saul was king of Israel. But using that analogy, we have the subject, the rebellion of Pharaoh. And we continue from last week by saying in verse 1, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, Go unto Pharaoh, and say unto him, Thus saith the Lord, Let my people go, that they may serve me." Verse 2, "And if you refuse to let them go, behold, I will smite thy borders with frogs." The borders of Egypt, the four borders of Egypt, I will smite all thy borders with frogs. And these are words from God through Moses. Verse 3, "And the river shall bring forth frogs abundantly, which shall go up and come into thine house, and into thy bedchamber, and upon thy bed, and into the house of thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thine ovens, and into thy kneading troughs. And the frogs shall come up both on thee, and upon thy people, and upon all thy servants." Verse 5, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, Say unto Aaron, Stretch forth thine hand with thy rod over the streams, and call over the streams, over the rivers, and over the ponds, and cause frogs to come up upon the land of Egypt." Verse 6, "And Aaron stretched out his hand over the waters of Egypt, and the frogs came up and covered the land of Egypt." Verse 7, "And the magicians did so with their enchantments, and brought up frogs upon the land of Egypt." Verse 8, "Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron, and said, Entreat the Lord that he may take away the frogs from me and from my people, and I will let the people go, that they may do sacrifice unto the Lord." So Pharaoh says, "Cry out to the Lord, Moses, and ask him to take away the frogs from us." Verse 9, "And Moses said unto Pharaoh, Glory over me, to God be the glory, When shall I entreat for thee and for thy servants and for thy people to destroy the frogs from thee and thy houses, that they may remain in the river only? So when shall I cry out to God for you? Verse 10. And he said, Pharaoh said, tomorrow. It just looks like I would have said right now with frogs in everything. But Pharaoh said tomorrow. And he said, Moses said, be it according to thy word, that thou mayest know that there is none like unto the Lord our God. Verse 11. And the frogs shall depart from thee, and from thy houses, and from thy servants, and from thy people. They shall remain in the river only. Verse 12. And Moses and Aaron went out from Pharaoh, and Moses cried unto the Lord, or entreated the Lord, because of the frogs which he had brought against Pharaoh. Verse 13. And the Lord did according to the word of Moses, and the frogs died out of the houses, out of the villages, and out of the fields. So the Lord answered Moses' prayer. Verse 14. And they gathered them together upon heaps, and the land stank because of those dead frogs. Verse 15. But when Pharaoh saw that there was respite or relief, he hardened his heart and hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had said. So Pharaoh hardened his own heart, and that's rebellion against the word of God. Verse 16. And the Lord said unto Moses, say unto Aaron, stretch out thy rod and smite the dust of the land, that it may become lice throughout all the land of Egypt. So now he ignored the first several plagues, and now the lice are going to come forth. Verse 17. And they did so for Aaron. And they did so, for Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod and smote the dust of the earth, and it became lice in man and in beast. All the dust of the land became lice throughout all the land of Egypt. Verse 18, and the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth life, but they could not. So there was lice upon man and upon beasts. The magicians had been able to turn the rod into serpents, and the river of blood, could duplicate that. But with the lice, they were unable to. Verse 19. Then the magician said unto Pharaoh, this is the finger of God. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he listened or hearkeneth not unto them. He did not listen to Moses and Aaron, as the Lord had said. And remember, these plagues are not happening to the people of Israel, because they're in the land of Goshen, and there the plague did not reach that was coming upon the Egyptians. And Psalm number 105 will explain that in detail. Verse 20. And the Lord said unto Moses, rise up early in the morning and stand before Pharaoh, Lo, he cometh forth to the water, and say unto him, that is the Nile River, and say unto him, thus saith the Lord, let my people go. Now, that they may serve me. Else, this is the fifth plague coming up. Else, if thou wilt not let my people go, behold, I will send swarms of flies upon thee, and upon thy servants, and upon thy people, and into thy houses, and the houses of the Egyptians shall be full of swarms of flies, and also the ground whereon they are, that is the Egyptians. Flies can be very annoying, and just think about flies. You can't bat them away. They're so plentiful. And this has come upon the Egyptian people and Pharaoh the king. Verse 22. God says, and I will sever or divide in that day the land of Goshen, in which my people dwell. No swarms of flies shall be there, to the end thou mayest know that I am the Lord in the midst of the earth. I am the Lord over heaven and earth. Verse 23. And God says, and I will put a separation between my people and thy people. Tomorrow shall this sign be. So Pharaoh had asked for this to be done on tomorrow before concerning the frogs. And now God says, tomorrow shall this sign be. Verse 25. And Pharaoh called for Moses and for Aaron and said, go ye, sacrifice to your God in the land. And Moses said, it is not right or meet so to do, for we shall sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians to the Lord our God. To the Lord our God. Lo, shall we sacrifice the abomination of the Egyptians before their eyes, and will they not stone us? Verse 27. We will go 3 days' journey into the wilderness and sacrifice to the Lord our God as he shall command us. Verse 28. And Pharaoh said, I will let you go that you may sacrifice to the Lord your God in the wilderness. Only ye shall not go very far away. Entreat for me or cry out for me. Verse 29. And Moses said, behold, I go out from thee, and I will entreat the Lord that the swarms of flies may depart from Pharaoh and from his servants and from his people tomorrow. But let not Pharaoh deal deceitfully any more in not letting the people go to sacrifice to the Lord. And this is like saying you can hold between two opinions. It's like what the people said in my younger days. It's straddling the fence. You can live in the world and in the Lord at the same time. And God says you cannot serve mammon, or God and mammon. Either you will love the one and hate the other, or cling to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon, but this is the compromise that Pharaoh is trying to make between him, his people, and Moses and the Lord. Verse 30. And Moses went out from Pharaoh and entreated the Lord. I prayed to the Lord. Verse 31. And the Lord did according to the word of Moses, and he removed the swarm of flies from Pharaoh, from his servants, and from his people. There remained not one. Verse 32. And Pharaoh hardened his heart at this time also, neither would he let the people go. So, rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness as wickedness and idolatry. So, when we're rebellious, we have to think about what are we rebelling against. And in the life of Pharaoh, he would not hear anything coming to him from God. So thank you all for listening. Again, Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next time. Bye.